Welcome, everybody, to Ridiculously Raw, the most must see show on YouTube and StreamYard.com. Today, I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined as always by good old MF Michael Fletcher, the First Lady of the Wrestling Forum, the Twisted Angel, Dee Dee Woodson. We are awaiting the presence of the Phenom, Michael Bullock. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then we'll see him Wednesday night on Wednesday Night Mayhem. All right. We're going to do things a little differently this evening. I am not going to do a Tony's Take this week on 205 Live or Impact Wrestling. I will save that for next week. However, what we're going to do, in addition to our Monday Night Raw review, we're going to preview the Bound for Glory pay-per-view, myself and MF. And as a special bonus, we are going to preview the 2020 World Series between the Tampa Bay Rays and the Los Angeles Dodgers that starts tomorrow night. So because of that, I'm going to eliminate the Tony's Take for this week. After we're done with the Raw review, MF and I will preview Bound for Glory, and then we will get into we'll do a quick World Series preview, and then we'll be done with the night. MF and Dee Dee, I strongly ask you, try to keep your thoughts as brief as you can, if that's okay. I mean, I love your detailed analysis, I really do, but I've had a very long day today, so I like to get this show done as quickly as we can. So with all that being said, let's dive right on in to what was the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. As always, from the Thunderdome in Orlando, Florida, the Amway Arena, as we all know. So, one thing was pretty cool, though. The Hell in a Cell has infiltrated the Thunderdome. You saw it. I thought we were going to have to wait till Sunday for it. Oh, no. Nah, honey. We got to see it. So, but there was a big reason for that. All right. Starting the show off this evening, it was The Fiend and Alexa Bliss. They didn't say anything. They were interrupted by Retribution. Retribution circled The Fiend and Alexa. Fiend and Alexa disappear. Hurt Business comes in. All hell breaks loose. And it leads in to an 8-man tag team matchup with the Hurt Business squaring off against Retribution. And the Hurt Business win the match in 11 minutes and 15 seconds. So on this, The Fiend is never not a compelling part of whatever show he's a part of. And here, we got a feel for what his run on Raw is going to look like. Is he a heel or a babyface? Who's he going to target? Looks like he's going to be a bit of a tweener, and that anyone is fair game for the Fiend's wrath, as they should be. He was off to a great start here. Not off to a great start was Ali's Retribution, which was soundly defeated by the Hurt Business and wiped out by the Fiend. It feels like an act dead in the water, already destined to be beaten down and rebooted, as WWE Creative appears uninterested in continuing the act as it currently stands. Perhaps that is for the best, as the names alone doomed the group to mediocrity at best. So, but it was an okay fight for what it was. I'll give this about a solid 3 stars. So that's all there is to do it. And hey, we have a special guest in our comment section. Our old friend Rob Parsons, as we used to call him, the Rob back in the day. You know, myself and MF. That was one of our running gags back in the day because he had a striking resemblance to The Rock. Back in our 9th grade days, but yeah, Rob, good to have you, man. Hopefully you're enjoying the show, and you're in for a good one tonight, as you always are, man. So that's all there is to say on that. So solid 3-star match at the absolute best. That's really all I can give it. So nothing more to say. Let's bring in good old MF Michael Fletcher. MF. An interesting way to start the show there with Retribution circling the Fiend and Alexa, and then the Hurt Business winning the match 11 minutes and 15 seconds, and the Rob is watching. So let's put on a good show for him.
Yeah, I know. First off, absolutely. Look, this was a great night to start the show. This was a very good night, a good start. I think the one big criticism that I know a lot of people was yelling about on social media was you just literally buried Retribution right before your very eyes. What on earth are you doing? You know, you gave Ali the opportunity, you turned him heel, you made him the leader of Retribution, and then you do go out and you literally bury him right before our very eyes. So it's like, what else is there you can do? What are you doing? So do I think that it's unfair? Absolutely. I think this was an unfair criticism of Retribution, but I get it. I understand why. Because going into this was supposed to be a more powerful team. They were supposed to be a good stable, and they're turning into like the Nexus. They're getting buried right before our very eyes. So I don't know what the look is. I don't know what the future is for Retribution. It's definitely not looking good. I'll give you that. So I mean, we're just gonna have to wait and see. So nothing more to add. Dee Woodson, it's all yours.
Yeah, this thing with the Fiend and Retribution actually started on Twitter and was kind of a Twitter war. So, you know, leading up to Raw tonight, I was hearing was that they were going to kill the Fiend, and Bray basically said, "I'm already dead," and so they asked about Alexa, and she goes, "Come and find out." So that's kind of sums that one up. The match, yeah, I can agree with the rating. It was good, and then of course you have the Fiend popping back up again at the end of the match, right there in the middle of Retribution, and taking all of them out. So I think he proved a point tonight that you know they aren't going to be able to take him out as easily as they think they will. So it's yours, Florio.
Okay. Next up, the phenomenal AJ Styles. He went one-on-one with Matt Riddle. AJ Styles wins the match in 9 minutes and 35 seconds, but something very interesting came out of this. AJ Styles has himself a bodyguard. He's got himself a heavy now. I'm going to try to pronounce this name the best as I can here. Jordan Omogbehin. Now, you may not, obviously you don't know who that is, but he was the guy he was the bouncer, if you will, the guy who stood outside the door of Raw Underground. Shane O'Mac. You know, that's the guy that Shano had outside, waiting outside the door of the Raw Underground. And he's the one who let him into the Underground. So that's who that is. AJ beats Matt Riddle in 9:35. But MF, I mean, AJ Styles, he's gonna be even tougher to beat now that he's got this behemoth spot with him now. Oh my goodness.
You got a behemoth with him, but AJ doesn't need him. I mean, that's out of all the guys in the Raw roster who needs a heavy, AJ doesn't need a heavy.
No.
AJ is quality enough, a great wrestler, one of the best mathematicians in the game. He doesn't need it. Yeah. This is a guy that maybe Sami Zayn needs. This is a guy that, you know, you need somebody who is
a chicken bleep heel.
Yeah, a chicken bleep heel. And AJ does not fit that mold. I'm sorry. I get it. He was perfect for Raw Underground. But as far as using him as a heel, as a chicken bleep heel, this makes no sense at all. And even, I'm going to say it, social media went after this. My boys on Discord went after this. I'm calling WWE out. This was the wrong guy that needed a heavy. He doesn't need it. You know, I get it. Back in the day, he had Gallows and Anderson, but they were a unit. They were a crew. That worked. They did not need this. So this is the wrong guy for a wrong bodyguard. I want to see how it goes, Maybe they might gear AJ to be a chicken bleep heel, but no, my friends, this was a swing and a miss for me. The fight was good. The fight was at least 2.5 to 3, but it took away because everybody was talking about AJ getting a bodyguard. Nobody really worried about the match. They were like, so unfortunately, the moment of AJ getting a bodyguard actually swallowed the match up. So nobody really cared about the match because everybody was all freaking out about AJ getting a bodyguard. Bad move, WWE. Bad move. D, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, this was not the place you needed to put that big man. Yeah, definitely recognize him from Raw Underground. AJ doesn't need backup, and this guy just wasn't. I mean, he's just stood there pretty much. He didn't do anything. So yeah, I can give it about 2 stars for the match. But yeah, they need to reevaluate what they're going to do with the big guy. So it's yours, Florio.
Yeah, yeah, 2.5 to 3. I mean, Riddle and Styles aren't going to have very many bad matches. Both are quality workers whose styles mesh well. They could conceivably have an above-average match with their eyes closed. The added element of the enormous bodyguard is intriguing, to say the least, but is not necessarily one Styles needs. He can talk, he can work, and is perceived as a main eventer. And therein lies why he is the perfect choice to pair with Omag Behan. WWE clearly wants to get the big man on television, and what better way to convince the audience that he is a big deal, both literally and figuratively, than by teaming him with a guy the WWE Universe has been conditioned to buy into as a legitimate main event talent. The newcomer will benefit exponentially, and Styles will have the opportunity to freshen things up a bit at a time when his character could probably use it. Win-win for all involved, except for Riddle, who ate another clean pin in a string of them of late. So with that being said, let's move on to our next match. This was the Raw Women's Championship match. Asuka defending against Lana. Yeah, we all know how this was going to end. Asuka successfully defends 2 minutes and 15 seconds. And then Lana gets put through the announce table again. And again. And again. And again. 5 weeks in a row now. But, it is what it is. And then after the match, the women's tag team champions, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, they cut a promo and they get interrupted by Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. The randomly thrown together tag team, and I do mean randomly thrown together tag team. Look at this. Lacey Evans and Peyton Royce, who clearly are not getting along. That could be a feud down the road. And then invading Raw, I mean, I thought they were on SmackDown, but the Riot Squad, Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan, who are now property of Friday Night SmackDown. And when all was said and done, Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, they win the match, 8.5 minutes. So Didi Woodson, what did you make of all this? I mean, Jackson Baszler successfully. Well, this was not a title match. Jackson Baszler proved their dominance. Mandy and Dana. You had Royce and Evans randomly thrown together, and then the Riot Squad from SmackDown. What's going on here?
Well, I'm not entirely surprised to see the Riot Squad because with it being the season premiere, like it was on Friday night, you still had some of the guys who was drafted to Raw. So naturally, Monday night's season premiere, you're going to have some of the ones that was drafted to SmackDown. And so that was kind of what happened with them. I guess you could say this was the Riot Squad's farewell match for Raw before they head off to SmackDown. I don't know what to think about Royce and Evans. I mean, it's basically a one-up competition with the two of them. They really not on the same page. They don't work very well together at all. So, I mean, that was just if they wanted to continue Peyton with a tag team, then they should have just left the Iconics instead of trying to throw her in with somebody else, because that sucked. But everybody else, I mean, they did a really good job working through this. I'm going to give it probably 2.5, 2 to 2 3/4 of star. I mean, it was pretty good. There was a lot of action going on, but this was definitely something that was just kind of thrown together at the last minute. So, no storyline background on this other than maybe trying to start something. So it's all yours, Florio.
Yeah. I'll tell you. This was the sleeper fight of the night. I didn't think there was going to be anything special, but yeah. But the thing is, even though it was a fine match, I mean, it was a fine effort. But my question was, what exactly was the point of this? To put Jackson Baszler over as an even more unbeatable force? We get it. They've steamrolled everyone. They beat the Golden Role Models. They demolished the Riot Squad. They have conquered any and all competitors, and this was no different. That Riot and Morgan were again sacrificed to accomplish something we already have countless times before it is proof positive that some things never change in the WWE Universe. Their stars dimmed as they embark on a run over on Friday nights, which I pray they get utilized better. I'm hopeful that the land of opportunity will give them more opportunities. So that's really all I can say on that. But I will give it a solid 2.5 star effort, though. But MF, I mean, again, I ask, what exactly was the point of this? This is Raw at its worst, competitiveness again.
Yeah. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I wish I could give you a clear-cut answer, Anthony. I don't. To see the Riot Squad, I mean, to see it all, I don't know. I mean, that's something that your show's gonna have to deal with. That's not my problem. Sorry, bro. Can't help you with that one. I wish I knew. I wish I knew. I don't think there's anything I can say. I think you took the words out of my mouth on that one. So, nope. You're on your own, bro.
Yeah, no surprise here. No surprise to hear that. But anyways, let's continue on here. Okay. Now we had Elias. They hyped this Elias concert, and I'm thinking, oh, here we go, another one of these typical ho hum Elias concerts. Oh no, this surprised the hell out of me. He had a full band, backup singers, beautiful ones, if I may say so myself. And then he goes and puts on the performance that he did. Wow. Okay. I'm going to call it hands down, not only the sleeper segment of the night, but the sleeper segment of the year. They're actually serious about this album. And it's a serious album. I mean, yes, just recently we lost one of the greatest rock and roll guitarists and performers of all time in Eddie Van Halen. And now we're getting an Elias album next week. So, man alive. But there was music and singing and a sneak attack by Hardy. But absolutely nothing that makes anyone want to see these two have a lengthy, drawn-out mid-card feud. Does it help elevate Elias working with Jeff Hardy? Absolutely. But he's worked with everyone from The Undertaker to Roman Reigns. He's always been a big deal in upper-card, mid-card act. A Hardy feud will not change that. What might help was that musical performance. Elias rocked it, and the result was a 3-minute break from the mat game that established the sinister songster as a legitimate vocal performer. A much better singer than wrestler even. So, color me surprised. I did not think this was going to be anything special. I thought he was going to sit there in the ring and do his usual boring shtick, in which I would say, wake me when it's over. But no, Elias, brother, you had me invested from start to finish. I can't believe I'm actually saying that. Well done. And in the immortal words of Wayne's World, from me and MF, good work, my friend. So that's all I can say on that. So MF, I can honestly say I finally get why you have been so high on this guy for the longest time. I get it now. That was great. This performance was great.
The thing is that he's done this before. During WrestleMania weekend in New Orleans, he did a concert, and it wasn't just a funny ha-ha spit. No, he legitimately did a concert in New Orleans. It was about an hour show, and people were loving it. They were going absolutely nuts. So tonight you got to see a legit performance by Elias, stripped down, not any goofy ha-ha side. No, a real song, real legit. Props to WWE for giving them the opportunity. Now, I love the fact that Jeff Hardy got involved. I love that he got a piece of Elias for the storyline progression. But this was a nice distraction to have. Something to just, just to get away from the wrestling, away for a little bit. Just have a segment. And it worked. I loved it. Well done. Didi, what's in it's yours?
Okay, it's no secret. I am not a fan of Elias. Yeah, he can perform. For me, the segment was just okay. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of his music or anything. About the only thing I really loved out of it was, the fact that it did do the storyline progression with Jeff, supposedly being one of the backstage grips or whatever that was supposed to hand him the guitar and ended up playing the guitar and then attacking him with it. So, yeah, for me, that was probably the biggest draw I got out of the whole thing, because I'm not impressed with Elias as a singer. I mean, he can wrestle, yeah, as long as he doesn't use the guitar to win. So, not much more I'm going to add. It's your Spoyo.
All right, and fair enough. As we always say, you can't please everybody, so it is what it is. But next up, we had Kofi Kingston, one half of the Raw Tag Team Champions, the New Day. Xavier Woods was in his corner, and he went one-on-one with the Celtic Warrior Sheamus. And when all was said and done, winner of the match, 13 minutes and 15 seconds, Kofi Kingston. Kofi Kingston defeats Sheamus, 13 minutes, 15 seconds. MF, I think we can make an argument for Fight of the Night here.
I say this is Fight of the Night. 3.5 stars, 3.5 to 3 3/4. Great matchup, a good rivalry, something we've seen in the past. But it was a solid battle. It was a great fight. Back and forth they went, and at the end of the day, the right man won. I'm very happy that Kofi gets the victory here. Very happy that Kofi, gets a little bit of a singles push, even though he's a tag team guy. But we got to see why Kofi is a great performer. And that's what he is. And they gave him a good opponent in Sheamus. So, no, I thought this was excellent all the way around. Definitely Fight of the Night for me. Didi, it's yours.
Yeah, it was Fight of the Night. I can agree with the rating. It was a nice little change of pace. And, of course, seeing Big E in the crowd encouraging Kofi, it was awesome. It was great to see that, even though they're on different shows, like they said, they're still New Day. They're still doing their thing in the two separate shows, and they're still supporting each other. They're still there for each other's back. So it was awesome. I liked to see it. So They did a good job here, so not much more I'm going to add. It's your Florio.
Now, DD and MF, I know you guys were in the Thunderdome this evening. I don't know if you noticed, but Big E was in the Thunderdome there. Big E was cheering on his boys in the Thunderdome there.
Yeah, I just said that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Florio, I was not in the Thunderdome when that happened. So, no, I came much later in the night.
I was.
Oh, okay.
But Didi was.
Did you last the whole show, DD?
Yes.
Oh, good for you.
I was in there from the recording of Main Event all the way to the end.
Wow, praise God. That's awesome. So,
yeah, I was surprised.
I think WWE really likes us because my call time was, I'm just going to be very brief. My call time was 10 o'clock. I got in at 10:30 on the second try, and I was there for the remainder of the night. So I was in there for the rest of the show, and it actually made TV. And we'll get into that in a little bit.
Yes, it did. So, but yeah, Didi, you did you notice Biggie in there?
Yeah, I noticed Biggie in there. Now, when I made it on the air, that was back in the Retribution and
Dean and Alexa.
Yeah, all that stuff. I was kind of on the, I guess you could say, the left side, closer to the announcers, but up in the middle, so you could see me pretty much over the referee's shoulder. So I was in the camera shots during that part, but other than that, I was in there for the whole thing. So yeah, I saw Big E in there, and then of course some of the others that popped in a little bit later on in the night.
Yeah,
for some of the other stuff.
Yeah, the other legend.
So yeah, this was great. I mean, they did this last Friday on SmackDown, having the legends in there. Did it again tonight. So I mean, it was great, especially getting to see Big E sitting there and trying to encourage Kofi, even though he couldn't be there at the ring. So I mean, that was awesome.
Okay, so that's good to hear. So anyways, moving on here. Mustafa Ali with Retribution. Mustafa Ali delivered the backstage promo, and he admitted what we already knew. He was the SmackDown hacker from earlier this year, but I'll say it like this: it was a well delivered promo that did not pack much of a punch, considering they lost clean in their second match earlier in the evening. Titus O'Neil, he apparently wanted to be a member of the Hurt Business. Hurt Business said no, an emphatic no. They beat the hell out of him. And then Miz and Morrison come out. They cut a promo and interrupted by Tucker, and they challenged Tucker to find himself a partner, and that partner was Otis undergoing dressing up as a Spanish luchador called El Gran Gordo. Really? For the love of, oh my Lord.
That might be trouble for Otis. You're under SmackDown contract. What the bleep are you doing on Monday Night Raw? That's a breach.
Yeah, that is a breach. You damn right it is. Oh my Lord in heaven. But here's the thing. We're not going to get into this because it was Miz and Morrison against Tucker and El Gran Gordo, Otis. Tucker and Otis as El Gran Gordo won the match in 4 minutes and 40 seconds. Fight. But one good thing that actually did come out of this, Miz cut a serious promo talking about how the Money in the Bank changed his life. He became the WWE champion. He main evented WrestleMania 27, and he actually put over the prestige of the Money in the Bank contract, and that was good. That was the only good thing that came out of this. Other than that, no, absolutely not. I'm not even going to have these guys dignify that. No way. Firefly Funhouse. And, well, Alexa Bliss made her first appearance, and that just made the Funhouse very interesting. Then we had Keith Lee squaring off against Braun Strowman. Braun Strowman won the match 3 minutes and 20 seconds. And you may have noticed the Nature Boy Ric Flair and soon to be Hall of Famer. He should have been already, but he will be nonetheless. One of my all-time favorites, my man, Mr. JBL, John Bradshaw Layfield. He infiltrated the Thunderdome as well. I'm sure that Didi and or MF saw the Nature Boy and the old billionaire. So, I mean, what a damn shame. I mean, that match was way too short. Colossal disappointment. I mean, it has to get better, right? I mean, Strowman and Lee wrestled a strike-heavy match that was neither interesting or particularly good, nor was it intended to be. This, like their first match, was a means to an end. That end being the continuation of a feud that has not been defined or explained to any extent. Strowman used the low blow to get the win. Lee returned the favor, so, like, I guess they keep going? They keep fighting? Apparently so, as neither man can really afford a loss at this point. And then we had the closing segment. Randy Orton and the Hell in a Cell has infiltrated the Thunderdome. Randy Orton cuts a promo from inside Hell in a Cell. I don't even know who's supposed to start this off. I don't remember.
Didi.
I thought it was. Okay. Didi Woodson, Randy Orton cutting a promo from inside the Hell in a Cell. Hands down the segment of the night.
Yeah, it definitely was. And the only thing I kind of have a gripe with is they ended it right when McIntyre was getting into the cage. You just cut it off. I mean, you know, I know you don't want to ruin your match for pay-per-view, but I mean, come on. I mean, you could have let it go just a little bit longer than let us actually see something actually happen. But that was a very good promo by Randy Orton. You know, talking about everybody he's taken care of in the Hell in a Cell. You know, all his matches he's had in the Hell in a Cell. You know, just pretty much, you know, proving that, you know, he is one of the, I guess you could say, one of the masters of that match. So, yeah, I mean, great promo. Definitely a great way to end Raw. Just wish that we got to see just a tad bit more there at the end. And, of course, this would be where we would also see our other commentator here pictured on the TV, too. So, not much more I'm going to add. It's yours, Foyle.
Randy Orton's career year continues here. I mean, wow. It may have been a bit anticlimactic for the big go-home angle to feature no physical interaction, but the promo from Randy Orton was his typical excellent stuff, while the tense showdown and tease of a war inside the structure surely drummed up some interest in their battle this Sunday night. Was it a segment that should have been so heavily hyped throughout the show? No. But it was still respectable stuff that put a nice bow on the Raw main event of Hell in a Cell. So, that was awesome. And I thought we were going to have to wait until Sunday to see what the Hell in a Cell was going to look like in the Thunderdome. No. They gave it to us on free television, cable network television, tonight. Amazing. I just wonder if they're going to do the same thing come Friday night on SmackDown. I wouldn't be surprised if they do. So there's nothing more to say. Now, Didi Woodson, you're about to experience something really cool here. MF and we're going to give you one of our legendary moments here. MF, there's nothing left for me to say except this. The Hell in a Cell in the Thunderdome. We saw it.
Yep.
Randy Orton cut the promo from inside it. We were wondering what it looked like. Well, tonight we got to see it. We didn't even have to wait till Sunday. How awesome was that?
Yeah, that was remarkable, man. That was wow. And you have to say it, guys. The cell looks bigger than ever before. It looks colossal inside the Thunderdome, man. I'm like, because you know what? Michael Bullock has been fortunate enough. He's got to see the Hell in a Cell up close and personal. That was one time where we got to see that structure. And it is massive. It is 20 feet high with the dome over the top, with that top of the cage. And this is reconstructed. The old school Hell in a Cell was about maybe 25. This looks even bigger, like 22, 23 feet. And it looks absolutely phenomenal. The red of it, with because a couple of years ago, I think it was 3 years ago, they constructed a red version of this Hell in a Cell. And this has been the one that it's been now. And it looks even better. Better for the TV, better for the viewers, better for everything. Man alive. This was good. The segment was excellent. Orton's promo was spot on. Great heel hook. Then you ended up getting a nice little something extra out of it. Because with McIntyre, and you saw how Orton dared him, saying, I dare you to get in here. You ain't coming in. I thought McIntyre was going to try to rip the door off, but he didn't. So, what's he do? Go over to the side. Oh, hi, by the way, everybody. That's where I was. Down in that thing. Bolt cutters down at the bottom. Where were those? Well, hey, don't look at me. I wasn't the one that gave it to him. That was not Walmart issued bolt cutters, by the way. So, I mean, yeah. He used it, broke it, got in, but like Didi said, the minute he got in, they cut. And not only did USA lose out on it, the fans in the Thunderdome lost out on it too. So, there was no fight. There was no extracurricular activities. Once the show went off the air, it went off. We got cut off. So we don't know if a brawl broke out in that cell, or if we're gonna have to wait till Sunday night. But man, what a way to close it. Anthony, it's yours.
Before we get to our overall review, you know what I thought McIntyre was gonna do? I thought he was gonna Claymore the door. That's what I thought he was gonna do.
I thought he was literally gonna. I actually thought he was gonna rip it from the hinge, like everybody else does.
Edie?
Yeah, I thought he'd Claymore it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. All right, so let's get into our overall review here of the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. I got to say this was maybe an in-the-middle kind of show. I'm leaning right around 5.5 to 6, if I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, we had a couple of good matches. I mean, Kofi and Sheamus, that was the fight of the night, hands down. The 8-man was fine. Styles and Riddle was fine. Those were the three big matches of the night. That closing segment was amazing. We got to see the cell inside the Thunderdome. I mean, MF and Didi really got to see it because they both infiltrated they were both in the Thunderdome at the exact same time. And but I do have some nitpicks. WWE did a really nice job of making the SmackDown season premiere feel bigger than it really should have. But Raw just kind of repeated, there goes that word again, what SmackDown did with the Legends and presented an inferior show. Worse yet, Raw did not generate much excitement for Hell in a Cell, which is a bigger issue than usual, with SmackDown playing to fewer viewers when they go to FS1 this week. I am looking forward to McIntyre and Orton inside the cell for the WWE Championship. But the match's final push was limited, and there's only so much excitement Raw can muster up over the newly teased Jeff Hardy versus Elias match. And apparently they're going to go at it at Hell in a Cell on Sunday night. So that's really the only real nitpick I have. This was an in-the-middle kind of show tonight. Even though there were some good matches, there were some good segments, but you know, like Randy Jackson always would say on Idol, it was just all right for me. So we can't be doing all right here, you know. So that's all there is to say on this. 5.5 to 6. That's the best I can go. So nothing more to say. MF, quick final thought.
5.5 for me. Yeah, you absolutely made all the compelling arguments. You are absolutely correct with everything you just said. Yeah, there's really nothing more to add. So, Dee, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree with the rating. I mean, you know, you guys pretty much touched on it all. It's, you know, it was just mediocre tonight. It wasn't that great. And there, you know, it didn't have the storyline driven that you need to get into leading into the pay-per-view. So yeah, it just was okay tonight. So yeah, not much more I'm going to add. I will see you guys for sure on Friday. So good night.
All right, Dee, we'll see you on Friday night, and you know, for Friday night SmackDown, the Cerebral Smack Talk, and our preview of the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. So so with that being said, we're going to get into a very, very special Tony's Take this evening. I'm not going to do a review of last week's Impact Wrestling or 205 Live. What we are going to do, though, we are going to give our MF and I are going to give our Bound for Glory predictions here tonight. So so with all that being said, I don't have a formal preview, but you know, we'll just do it on the fly here. So so Bound for Glory will be live this Saturday night, rather. I'm sorry. This Saturday night from where they've been, you know, for the last several months, the Skyway Studios in Nashville, Tennessee. And we have 7 matches on the card, and we're going to go from the bottom up to the top. So we're going to have ourselves a Call Your Shot gauntlet match where the winner can choose any championship match of their choice. If Heath or Rhino wins, then Heath also wins a full-time contract with Impact Wrestling. So it'll be AC Ramiro, Brian Myers, Jessica Havoc, Heath, Sean Hernandez, Larry D, Rhino, Taya Valkyrie, Tennille Dashwood, Tommy Dreamer, and another, I guess, a mystery to be determined opponent here, I guess. So I'm actually going to go with Heath to win this thing. I think Heath is being built up to get the contract. I think Heath's going to get his big moment. And I can't think of a better moment for him to get it than on the biggest stage of them all. So I'm going to go with Heath to win the Call Your Shot gauntlet. So MF, what do you say?
I'm actually gonna agree with you on this one. I'm gonna go with Heath to win it as well. I think he will get the contract and become a full member of Impact Wrestling. So yeah, nothing more to add. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, MF. Next match, we have Eddie Edwards going one-on-one with Ken Shamrock, and Ken Shamrock will have Sami Callihan in his corner. So MF, Eddie Edwards, Ken Shamrock. Who do you like here?
This is going to be an interesting matchup. I don't know why, but I feel like Sami Callihan's going to turn on Ken Shamrock here. I don't know why. I just got this funny feeling, even though they've been coexisting pretty well, I guess you could say. But at the end, I just feel like Eddie Edwards is going to win this match. Eddie Edwards, as many of you guys know, not too long ago, won the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight title at Slammiversary. Won it all. And then some way, somehow, next time out, drops the belt to the eventual champion. That was Eric Young, EY. So I think Eddie will bounce back. This will be the victory he gets. but it's not going to be because of the way that I think a lot of people expect it to be. I think there's going to be some chicanery with Sami Callihan turning on Ken Shamrock that's going to help Eddie get the win. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I'm going with Eddie Edwards to win as well. I could easily see Callahan turning on Shamrock, but I think Eddie Edwards will get the retribution here. No pun intended. A lot of I read some dirt sheets saying that these two were going to be going at it for the World Heavyweight Championship. I am so glad that this is not for the title, because this would have absolutely no. But I'm going with Eddie Edwards nonetheless. EC3 going one-on-one with Moose. I'm going with EC3. I mean, you've been hyping him. You've been hyping this comeback all this time, and it would be a colossal mistake and a major disservice if you feed him to Moose. So, everything that's been going on has been, insane and whatnot, but I'm going with EC3 to win. So, nothing more to say. MF, I mean, this is involved that old TNA World Heavyweight Championship that Moose had been carrying around, but apparently that title's now gone by the wayside. So these two are finally going to go at it. I think EC3 should go over, considering they're bringing him back, and I think this is the start of bigger and better things for him. So EC3 wins. MF, your thoughts on all this?
Agreed. I got to go with EC3 as well. Not only did EC3 do that, but as a matter of fact, I just noticed a video that got posted a day or so ago. EC3 was in Ring of Honor. He showed up in Ring of Honor. I guess I wish I had the video. It was just recently posted. Now I don't, because Ring of Honor has been promoted a few back, or whatever you want to call it. And yeah, EC3 was in Ring of Honor calling out for a match. So I don't know. We'll wait and see what happens. But yeah, I'll go with EC3 winning. So nothing more to say. Anthony, it's yours.
All right, and now the next 4 matches are all the championship matches. First up, a 6-way intergender scramble match for the X Division Championship. The champion, Rohit Raju, defending against former champion Chris Bay, Jordan Grace, TJP, Trey Miguel, and another former champion, Willie Mack. Whoa, MF. 6-way intergender scramble match. Does Jordan Grace make history? Does she become the first female X Division champion?
I gotta say yes. I think she will. Look, as many of you guys know, not too long ago, about a few months ago, we were talking about Tessa Blanchard and how she broke the glass ceiling and became the first ever Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion. Jordan Grace could easily do what Tessa Blanchard did. She can easily become the first ever women's X Division champion in the history of the company. She's got the style, she's got the wrestling ability, and she can hang with the men. That's one thing that I think nobody has any argument whatsoever. And I do believe when it's all said and done, they're grooming this to be a historic moment. Just like they did when Tessa won the world title. I think Jordan's gonna get the rub. And of all events to do it at Bound for Glory, which is supposed to be their biggest event of the year, winner and new X Division champion, Jordan Grace. Anthony, it's yours.
Agreed. It's got to be Jordan. I mean, I'll be honest. I kind of want to see TJP get his moment because I've been very high on him. But yeah, it's got to be Jordan. I mean, we yes, and MF makes a great point. I mean, we saw it back in January at the Hard to Kill event when Tessa Blanchard knocked off Sami Callihan and won the World Heavyweight Championship. So that's really all there is to say on that. So yeah, I 100% agree. The winner and the new X Division champion, it will be Jordan Grace. So Moving on, fatal four-way match for the World Tag Team Championship. The champions, the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, versus the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, versus the North, Ethan Page and Josh Alexander, versus Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. This is very tough. I mean, I think we're going to see new champions here. I'm not sure. I got it as a toss-up between the Good Brothers and Ace Austin and Madman Fulton. I mean, on one hand, Austin and Fulton could win the belts, and the Good Brothers chasing them could make for some good money. But then again, I've always had this feeling about the Good Brothers winning the titles, and because of their previous track records. So I'm going to go with my initial gut here, and I'm going to say that the winners and new World Tag Team Champions will be the Good Brothers, Doc Gallows and the Machine Gun Carl Anderson, and what has the potential to be a show stealer of a match. It really does. So there's nothing more for me to say. New World Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers, MF. Very tough match to call here.
Very tough match to call, but Anthony, you're absolutely right. You picked the right team. In my opinion, I can't disagree with you. And on top of that, I'm gonna go with you with that prediction as well. Winner and new Impact Wrestling World Tag Team Champions, the Good Brothers. I do believe they'll win the belt. So, Florio, it's yours.
All right. I know this next match, MF. This I could consider. I don't know if I could consider this an MF special or anything else, but I know this is a match that MF has been chomping at the bits to get into here. The Knockouts Championship on the line. The champion, Deonna Purrazzo, the Virtuosa, defending against Smiley Kylie Rae. Now, MF, it's no secret. You have been very high on Kylie Rae for so many years. She became the number one contender, winning at Slammiversary. Does Smiley Kylie get her moment? Does she become the Knockouts champion?
Oh, this is tough. Because you got the Virtuosa Deonna Purrazzo, who's been killing it since being the champion. Like, when she won the belt, that was a big moment for us. We were all excited, the whole 9 yards. That was a great moment. Now you got that, and now you got Smiley Kylie Rae, who, yes, I am very high on. I love this girl. This is a tough call. I don't think it's going to happen. I gotta go with Deonna Purrazzo to successfully defend the title, but I do believe she's gonna cheat to win, which is gonna prolong the storyline. I don't think Kylie Rae will get the belt just yet. Eventually she will, but I don't think it's gonna be until at least 2021. So I'm gonna say right now, they're gonna keep the belt with Deonna Purrazzo for a little while longer. So I got nothing more to say. Winner and still champion, Deonna Purrazzo, the Virtuosa. Anthony, it's yours.
Yeah, I could see that as well. I could see Deonna Purrazzo winning by nefarious means, but I also would not be surprised if Smiley Kylie were to win the title. I mean, it wouldn't surprise me at all if she were to.
Agreed.
Yeah, but we'll see, but I'm not 100% confident, but I will. This is more of a reluctant agreement, MF. I will go with Deonna Purrazzo, but I would absolutely not be shocked if Smiley Kylie wins the title here. No, I wouldn't. Main event of the evening for the World Heavyweight Championship. The champion, the world-class maniac, Eric Young, going up against Rich Swann. I have no doubts about this one. This is the lock of the show right here. New World Heavyweight Champion, Rich Swann. This is tailor-made for the feel-good moment. I mean, we saw Eric Young beat the holy you-know-what out of Rich Swann. That's after he was eliminated by Rich Swann in that huge world title main event at Slammiversary that Eddie Edwards won. And the way they have built this has been incredible. The way they've used Scott D'Amore, which I think Scotty D'Amore has put in his best work. And, him and Eric Young, I mean, it conjured up all those great memories of the two of them as part of Team Canada back in the day. One of my all-time favorite Impact factions. My number two, well, they're in my top three, along with the Main Event Mafia and the Fortune 4. But I mean, But nonetheless, though, this has feel-good story written all over it. I would be shocked if Rich Swann does not win the World Heavyweight Championship. I would be beyond shocked. So there is nothing left for me to say. It should be a hell of a match. I think Eric Young's going to dominate the match, and he'll go after all those injuries. But I got this feeling Rich Swann is going to somehow, some way find a way to win this thing. So winner and new World Heavyweight Champion, and deservedly so, Rich Swann. So nothing more to say. MF, I would be shocked if Rich Swann doesn't win the title. This has feel-good story written all over it.
Absolutely. A lot of people thought Rich Swann should have won the belt at Slammiversary. Well, no, because he was a late addition. Nobody knew that he was going to be in it. But after all after everything that happened, with everything that was on the line, it would be an absolute travesty if this man does not walk out with the belt. This is the ultimate feel-good story, the ultimate comeback story. After Rich Swann literally got destroyed, and a lot of people thought, oh my God, he may never wrestle again. To do all that, to persevere, to dig down deep, to come back and win the Impact Wrestling World Heavyweight title would be the greatest comeback story in the history of the company. I mean, there is nobody more deserving of the World Heavyweight Championship than Rich Swann right now. To me, Anthony, I'm in 1,000% agreement with you. Winner and new World Heavyweight Champion, Rich Swann. Nothing more to say. It's yours.
One last order of business this evening, and that is the 2020 World Series. It kicks off tomorrow night from Globe Life Field in Arlington, Texas. The American League champion Tampa Bay Rays squaring off against the National League champion Los Angeles Dodgers. Series starts tomorrow night. Game 2 will be Wednesday. Off day Thursday. Game 3 will be Friday. Game 4 will be Saturday. Game 5, if necessary, will be on Sunday. Game 6, if necessary, a week from this Tuesday. And Game 7 would be a week from Wednesday on the 28th. So with all that being said, very, very tough to call here. I mean, but before we, before I give you my my pick here, I mean, this sets up a very interesting scenario here. I mean, think about this. Whoever wins the World Series, that city is going to experience a second major championship within a month. If Tampa Bay should win this, they would have won the Stanley Cup with the Lightning and the World Series with the Rays in a month's time. If the Dodgers win, their World Series would go with the NBA championship that the Lakers just won 8 nights ago. So whoever wins this, either the city of Tampa or Los Angeles, is going to enjoy a second championship. Unbelievable. Oh my God, this is beyond tough to call. But for the Rays, depth is the Rays' biggest strength, both in terms of hitting and pitching, and they will need it to shine through in order to win their first World Series. They don't boast much star power in their lineup, but a star has been born thus far in the playoffs as outfielder Randy Arozarena is hitting .382 with 7 homers and 10 RBI. That included a 2-run home run in Game 7 of the ALCS on Saturday night. Tampa would love for the ALCS MVP to continue his hot hitting, but manager Kevin Cash could use more production from the rest of his lineup as well. Manuel Margot, Ji-Man Choi, and Mike Zunino have performed well at the plate, but the Rays would benefit from the likes of Austin Meadows, Yandy Diaz, Brandon Lowe, Willie Adames, and Kevin Kiermaier breaking out of their slumps. The Rays have a big advantage in big game pitching when they have Charlie Morton on the mound, as he improved to 4-0 in winner-take-all playoff games during his career by winning Game 7 against his former team in Houston. While the 36-year-old has a 0.57 ERA in these playoffs, the rest of the starters have been suspect. Blake Snell has a solid 3.20 ERA, but his 10 walks in 19 2/3 innings are too many. And also, Tyler Glasnow has struggled to a 4.66 ERA. Nick Anderson was nearly unhittable during the regular season, but the Rays' best reliever also has a 4.66 ERA in the playoffs, and he will need to make some strides if they're going to win the World Series as well. For the Dodgers, after posting the best record in Major League Baseball this year at 43-17, the Dodgers may be in line to finally break through and win a championship after losing in the World Series in both 2017 against Houston and 2018 against Boston. The biggest key to victory for LA may be the play of shortstop Corey Seager, who was dominant in the 7-game series win over MF's Braves and is hitting .310 with 6 homers and 15 RBI in this postseason. The 26-year-old had no shortage of huge hits for the Dodgers in the NLCS, including his home run in Game 6 to get them off to the hot start they needed. While Seager has been playing arguably the best ball of his career, the rest of the lineup has left something to be desired. Outfielder Mookie Betts has been getting on base, but his run production hasn't been as significant as expected. Cody Bellinger's playoff struggles have largely continued as well, and the likes of Justin Turner and Max Muncy have been fairly inconsistent. Bellinger did get on track in Game 7 against the Braves, though, with what turned out to be the series-winning home run in the 7th inning. Like the Rays, the Dodgers have a ton of offensive depth, but only a handful of players who have been living up to expectations. From a pitching perspective, Walker Buehler has been the workhorse with a 1.89 ERA in 4 starts and 29 strikeouts over 19 innings. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts needs that to continue, but he could also use some vintage performances from Clayton Kershaw. The 32-year-old is a 3-time NL Cy Young Award winner, but he is not known for his clutch showings in the playoffs. He can ditch the negative perception of not being a playoff pitcher by coming through in the World Series and finally guiding his team to a title. And also, closer Kenley Jansen struggled through the beginning part of the playoffs, but he settled in during the NLCS, and it will be huge for the Dodgers' chances if he can maintain that rhythm. This year's World Series is among the most evenly matched in recent memory, and it has the makings of a series that will go the distance, just as the ALCS and NLCS both did. Playoff series often come down to pitching, and the Rays have the advantage in that regard. Morton has essentially been unhittable in this postseason. Snell won the AL Cy Young 2 years ago, and Glasnow has electric stuff. Tampa also has a relentless lineup that doesn't allow opposing pitchers to take a rest, as even the bottom part of the lineup produces. Assuming at least one of the Rays' struggling hitters steps up and makes the lineup even deeper, they will celebrate their first World Series in team history. I think it goes the distance. I think it goes 7. I mean, one part of me says Tampa because of the Dodgers' recent struggles. But at the end of the day, now I'm going to be honest. I want the Rays to win. I actually want to see Tampa because MF, you know better than anybody how much I love to see a team win for the first time, especially a team that has, that when they first came into the league in 98, when they were the Devil Rays, they absolutely sucked. They didn't have a good, they sucked for the first decade or so.
It didn't take them until 10 years before they finally made it to anything relevancy. And that was the World Series in 2008.
Even though they did lose to Philadelphia, but
yeah.
I want them to win. I really, really do. But I just got this feeling it has to be the Dodgers, especially after what they did against Atlanta. I mean, I feel like this is their time. I really do. But I would not be surprised if Tampa were to win. I would not. My gut tells me to go with Tampa, but my heart is telling me to go with the Dodgers. So I'm going to go with the Dodgers to win, but if Tampa were to win, I would not be at all surprised. So that's all there is to say on that. So MF, I just brought the Tim McCarver. Now it's time for you to bring the Joe Buck like you always do. Now, which city is going to get to experience a second major championship? Is Tampa going to get the World Series with the Stanley Cup, or is LA going to get a World Series with the NBA championship?
Well, I'm going to tell you right now, I can confirm that tomorrow night it will be Tyler Glasnow versus Clayton Kershaw in Game 1 of the World Series. So that has been announced, and in Game 2, Blake Snell will go for the Tampa Bay Rays. So I mean, we won't know how the Dodgers are going to respond in Game 2, but honestly, yes, I've seen both teams, and I've seen how both teams have played. And, I honestly, this easily could be the Dodgers' time, but the whole year, we've been so underestimating the Tampa Bay Rays. We didn't think that they were going to amount to anything, even though they had a really good team. But a lot of people didn't think that they were going to make it all the way through the AL playoffs. A lot of people thought, going in that, all right, they're gonna handle their business. They, in their wild card series, they're gonna have no problem. And they did. They ran through, won their series pretty easily. Then they ran into the New York Yankees. We saw what the Yankees could bring to the table. They gave it away in Game 5. They lost the series. Then they had 3-0 ahead on the Houston Astros. Lost 3 in a row and got to the World Series by winning Game 7. And the Dodgers, look, their road was not easy. They went through, they had went through a 2-game sweep, got to the divisional series, knocked out their rival in the San Diego Padres. I think dismissed them in like 3 or 4. And then went up and went through a war with the Atlanta Braves, and you saw the war it was. I know what that went, and now they had to come back to try to finish this all off, and now here we are in the World Series, and it's not an easy series. It's almost evenly matched. You got the best team in the American League versus the best team in the National League, number 1 versus number 1, and I'm sorry, Anthony, I gotta disagree with you. I think Tampa is more geared. I think they got better weapons. And the thing is I think the Dodgers are going to be worn out. That bullpen went through a war with the Atlanta Braves. I don't know if they got enough in the tank left to deal with another 7-game series. And especially with the way that Tampa plays, like you said, they are an equivalent of the Atlanta Braves. They will wear you down. And the thing is, from 1 through 9, you got dangerous hitters. And let's talk about what's his name? Oh God, the one who got the ALCS MVP,
Randy Arozarena.
That's the guy. In that type of situation, you know what it is. Fastball, and if he gets a hold of one, good night. That thing's gone. And I don't care what that stadium in Arlington does. That ball is not going to hold. If he gets a hold of one, that thing is gone. I don't care what stadium you're in. It's out of there. It's a home run. So we'll wait and see what happens. I'm sure of it. I'm going to say it. I think we're going to have a first-time World Series winner. I think Tampa's going to win the World Series, and I'm going to say in 6. Now that Michael Bullock's here, Florio, it's all yours. So,
yep. So, Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's, you know our new routine. We're gonna have you give a quick thought, a quick thought of what you saw on Monday Night Raw this evening, and then from there, we just did a quick special bonus preview of the World Series. So, but first, what did you what stood out about for you? What stood out for you when it comes to tonight's season premiere of Monday Night Raw?
Well, what stood out to me was obviously, the obvious surprise was, but then again, I don't think it should come as a surprise. Ali revealed himself as the mysterious hacker that because we've been wondering for so long, like, who was that person? Who was the one that was behind the scenes and doing all that? And turns out it was Ali himself. And it was just so weird seeing Retribution in the ring along with the Fiend. But I wonder if they're going to be going after the Fiend as well. That's the thing I'm interested to see. Obviously, the final build to that Hell in a Cell match between Randy Orton and Drew McIntyre, and those to me are some of the standout things that I saw from tonight's Monday Night Raw.
Yeah, it was a middle of the road kind of show.
And obviously no surprise of Asuka retaining the title, and that we knew it was going to be a short match.
Yeah, and Lana got put through the announce table again. What else is new?
Couldn't have happened to a nicer woman.
Yeah. But we got to see the Hell in a Cell. The Hell in a Cell was inside the Thunderdome.
And I'll tell you, I saw it, and it looks pretty good. I mean, they were able to get...
MF says it looks bigger. Do you agree with that?
I think it looks a little bigger. I'm not going to say it's way, way big, but it does look a little bigger.
But yeah, it has infiltrated the Thunderdome. I thought we were going to have to wait till Sunday, but no, it's there. It was there tonight.
But yeah, I mean, now obviously we're going to have to wait and see how everything goes for SmackDown this Friday night. And of course, the big question is, will Bayley finally sign the contract to make their match official?
Let's hope so. And but anyways, we just did a quick World Series preview. Tampa Bay Rays, LA Dodgers. You know the scenario. I mentioned it to you in our messenger. One city is about to experience a second title within a month's period. What are the odds?
Man, that's something. And I did hear Fletch say, I mean, we've been underestimating this Tampa Bay Rays team all season long. I mean, we knew they were a good team, but we didn't think they were going to be good enough to get to the World Series. And this is just their second World Series appearance in franchise history. And I don't know. I mean, this Rays team is eerily similar to the team that went to the World Series in 2008. Wouldn't you agree with that, Florio?
Certainly.
But the difference is you got a different manager this time in Kevin Cash. And yeah, but why do I get this weird feeling that I think this is going to be the Dodgers' time? Because here's the thing. They've been close so many times in their appearances in the World Series, but obviously losing to both the Astros and the Red Sox. So, this is not going to be an easy call for me. But after everything I've seen and just seeing the emotion come out of manager Dave Roberts after they got the NLCS trophy, I think this is going to be their time. I think this is where they're finally going to break through and win a World Series. I think this is going to go the distance. I think this is going to go the full 7 games. But as you said, Florio, I will not be surprised if the Tampa Bay Rays do pull this one off. I really wouldn't be surprised. And you know what? I'm going to take it even a step further, Florio. My World Series MVP, it's going to be Mookie Betts. That's who I'm going with.
Okay. So so that will put the bow on this edition of Ridiculously Raw. We want to thank you all so very much for tuning in this evening. We will be back with you on Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem over on the MF's channel, Race Fan 95. We will review AEW Dynamite and NXT. Thursday, College Football Thursday. And then from there, Friday, Cerebral Smack Talk with Friday Night SmackDown and our preview of Hell in a Cell. And then Saturday, NFL Saturday, the headline game of the week, the Pittsburgh Steelers against the Tennessee Titans. And then Sunday, it'll be our Hell in a Cell recap. And then right back here next Monday night for another Ridiculously Raw, the fallout from Hell in a Cell. And we start the road to my favorite event of the year, the Survivor Series. Oh, yeah. Can't wait. So that'll do it for that. So until Wednesday night, from Wednesday Night Mayhem, it's Anthony Floyer here for the Phenom, Michael Bullock. And in spirit, good old MF Michael Fletcher, the Twisted Angel, D.D. Woodson, and always and forever, FKG 401, Derek Ferreira. You know the routine, everybody. Thumbs up. Talk to you later. Yeah, throw it up, Fortune 4 style. Bye for now, my friends. God bless. Be good to each other. Have a blessed couple of days. And until Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Mayhem, remember, my friends, no matter what anyone tells you, wrestling is indeed, beyond anything else, actually real. For everybody who's been a part of this one, for now, Anthony Floyer, so long. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.